From WJHG, this is First Alert Weather Plus.
Well, folks, welcome to Weather Extra. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Michaels.
And I'm Meteorologist Trey Tonneson.
Well, we've had certainly a beautiful day on Monday. Did start to see a few of those afternoon showers popping up. And just about where we talked about it, you weren't going to see them on the coastline. You were going to catch those a little bit further inland. They'll start to jazz up just a little bit more in the afternoon hours over the next couple days as well. That's weather headline number one, getting some afternoon rain chances in store for us here as we work our way into the next couple days. Those afternoon rain chances are certainly a blessing to see. I know that inland farmers certainly are wanting those. Maybe some folks could give their yards a relax from sprinkling, turning those sprinklers on this time of year. We're certainly in a big time drought, so that's big news for those folks, but none on the coastline.
Yeah, thank goodness, and that's a big help to our drought as well. Well, I say big help, but every little bit helps us because we're so deep into the drought.
Yeah, it'll take a little time to get out of that. Severe thunderstorm threat starts to build from the Midwest to the plains, then back even to the Midwest over the next several days. Folks might be doing some traveling for Easter. We'll give you a heads up on where some of those problem spots could be in the country over the next couple days. Hopefully we make it through Passover just fine, get through Good Friday just fine, and then weather finally starts to calm down a bit more so into Easter Sunday. So it's good news. Now this is something that's if you know, it got to go back some years. So
yeah, way back, 1962, I believe. Yeah,
some folks might be around to remember the Milton tornado, but it certainly has an interesting story behind it.
Yeah, my grandparents were both 12, born in 1950, so they would have both been in Milton at that time. Very interesting.
Interesting. Yeah, Trey's going to talk a little bit about that. And then the odds on Artemis prop bets are being placed on different things that will happen during the Artemis mission. We'll take a couple looks at what some of those are. Maybe we'll make our own little
Is it insider trading if we bet on it?
We'll make our guesses and see on a couple of the inside prop bets that they've got going on. And some websites, some bookies are doing it. You know, so we'll see. All right, rip current's going to be a big issue for us over the next couple days. The persistent onshore wind is going to be driving that up here for us. And again, some are the only ones who are going to see rain here in the Panhandle, Trey.
Yeah, it's one of those spots where we kind of see rainfall chances. Multiple folks will see it. We all kind of do see it to some extent. But we won't all see that rain all at once or at all.
Yeah, so let's dive in a little bit as to where we could possibly start to see some of the showers here for us over the next couple days. There you go. We're looking at those showers popping up across Highway 20, I-10 already. Starting to see a few of them get going in the fair weather clouds that we've got here right now. And that'll be a going trend for us heading into the afternoon. They'll get bigger in size, might even get a few thunderstorms. We've seen a few of those already starting to fire up just over toward the central Gulf Coast. This is on the edge of the ridge of high pressure, which is largely centered just off the coastline right now of the southeast in the Atlantic, and that's actually leading towards us looking at the potential of seeing those showers and thunderstorms here this afternoon. Give me a second there, Trey. Hold on a second. All right, yeah, hold on. Radar showing those showers and thunderstorms just off towards the west where we've got the activity really blossoming up. That'll start to look like our skies as we head into the next few days across Highway 20 and I-10. You're looking at the forecast highs to really find out where you could see the strongest of the showers and thunderstorms because you need the heat. We don't have a frontal boundary creating lift to get these showers and thunderstorms going. What we've got is daytime heating, which is creating rising motion because hot air wants to rise. And then the sea breeze, the onshore winds working in from the coastline, actually almost acts like a faux cold front because Gulf waters near about 70 degrees is relatively cooler than what the land is. And that air that rushes in from the Gulf to replace the rising motion from the heat over the land is actually kind of like a change in air mass, a cold front bringing cooler air. It's more dense, would ride along the surface Warm, moist air would be more buoyant, wants to rise, and so if that cool, dry air can help push the warm, moist air up into the atmosphere, that's almost like a faux front, the sea breeze. And so because of that, each afternoon that we get inland into the afternoon hours, where we could even push up into the mid-80s in spots there come the tri-state in the next couple days, will be the prime locations that will be looking for us to see those afternoon showers, thunderstorms. It's likely from Bluntstown up through Grand Ridge, Sneads, across Jackson County, northern portions of Washington County, across Holmes County, to see this afternoon's showers and thunderstorms here in the forecast, in a very similar spot as we look our way into our Wednesday afternoon as well. Some of them could get close to the coast if the sea breeze weakens at all. Then that cooling influence that protects the coastline this time of year from seeing the showers and thunderstorms might actually get close to the bays, let's say. But I don't think anybody on the beaches sees a drop of rain over the next several days. You'll see all of the shower and thunderstorm activity popping up over the land here for us. And that's this afternoon's activity getting going across Highway 20, I-10. Morning hours are quiet for us, although we might wake up with a little more cloud cover and fog in spots starting off tomorrow. The coast will turn actually mostly to partly sunny in the afternoon. And then when that weak sea breeze gets going, some showers and thunderstorms may be near the coast, but they get going just off the coastline, and then because of that southerly wind, they push their way further inland and right up into the tri-state, where will be the warmest, where we'll be able to support the rising motion for those showers and thunderstorms. If you get a thunderstorm, you could pick up a quick inch of rain. That'd be very much isolated in nature. You're probably looking at about a quarter to a half inch of rain, though, if you're just on the outskirts of maybe the strongest cell that develops. That's the case as we even get into Wednesday afternoon and into Thursday's forecast as well. If you pick up a thunderstorm, you could get about an inch of rain. If you're just on the outsides of that thunderstorm, it's more or less about a quarter to a half inch of rain. But hey, Trey, it's much needed rain for inland areas. Nothing goose eggs for the coastline for right now. Maybe the next rain chance that comes on the coast could be at the end of Easter.
Yeah, it looks like our next big system, at least a widespread system, comes on the tail end of Easter into the next week, and that looks like it drops temperatures a decent bit. But as we're going to talk about right now, what are rip currents and why are we spotting those, and how do you do it? Now, this is what you're going to initially look for above. If you're looking at a rip current, notice this area right in between the two so-called lines, almost like the Bloody Alley drill in football, where you got two folks heading one-on-one at each other. You've got this area right here in the middle, and you're going to want to watch out for that water that's rushing back out to the sea. And if you get caught in a rip current, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go horizontal here, either side. You're not going to want to go vertical back against the rip current. You're going to want to either float on your back or swim out to the side of this. And the reason that you're going to do that is we have, unfortunately, all kinds of deaths across the country related to rip currents, and here's kind of what they look like over the past 15 years. Notice several states start to pop up when you see rip current deaths, and then start getting a little more severe as we head down the line here. Looking now at Alabama, and about 41 rip current deaths over the past 15 years. Texas up to about 63, and then we eventually add in Florida. Notice our rip current deaths all the way up to about 242 over the past 15 years. So a serious problem here nonetheless, and at minimum, one is one too many. We've seen 242 drownings in Florida, 35 of those in Panama City Beach alone, and then 14% of statewide drownings happen near the Panama City Beach area. So as you head out to the beaches, keep that in mind. And the reason that we're touching on that is because we do have a decent risk of rip current across the Gulf Coast over the next few days. And we'll touch on that as well as your forecast and a threat of severe storms across the nation after the break.
Welcome back. Well, there is a threat for severe thunderstorms across the country here over the next several days. We're looking right up across the Midwest, Great Lakes, and Ohio Valley for the slight risk. Level 2 out of 5 risk here today extends from St. Louis up to Chicago, stretches back east, then over Ohio into Cleveland, and then further east as we head into tonight's forecast, possibly into Buffalo, portions of northern Pennsylvania, as well as western area of New York. The threat shifts actually from the Midwest and Ohio Valley across the plains as we get into tomorrow. And just recently, an enhanced risk of severe weather has been issued from the Storm Prediction Center out of Norman, Oklahoma for central portions of Texas right through Oklahoma and on up towards Wichita. That highlighted in orange. The slight risk, level 2 out of 5 risk, would then extend from southern Texas right all the way up into northwestern Missouri, crossing over Oklahoma as well as Kansas. Potential that a cold frontal boundary brings a squall line feature to this region. We'll go from a QLCS, what could end up being a derecho event and possible thunderstorm complex from the Midwest to the Ohio Valley today, to a squall line feature that extends over many states heading into tomorrow, and then the same frontal boundary, that cold front that extends from the plains tomorrow, goes right back up towards the Midwest and brings them another shot at seeing some more of these linear structure line thunderstorms that could produce some gusty winds, possibility of some hail. We've already had some reports of that here across portions of the Midwest from last night and yesterday. When you're looking at these little circles, the zipper ones are actually indicating strong wind gusts that we've seen here with these thunderstorms as of late. If I sample just the one that's in Lafayette County in Shullsburg in Wisconsin, they had a non-thunderstorm actual wind gust of 58 miles per hour, but they're actually starting to get some thunderstorms firing up right now just east of the Madison region and right around Milwaukee, where they could be dealing with even upwards of 50 to 67 mile an hour wind gusts there. Those non-thunderstorm wind threats right now, just outside of these thunderstorms that are developing. The icons that you're seeing that look like little circles inside the bigger circle is the hail threat. Hail size being reported of over an inch, inch and a half, with some ping pong ball sized hail around the Chicago region as of late over the last 24 hours. And they're going to actually see some of this activity happen again. Severe thunderstorm watch has been posted for northern portions of Indiana here today, northwestern portions of Ohio and southern Michigan. They've already had a few severe thunderstorms in eastern portions of Wisconsin here today that are just starting to race across Lake Michigan and move across Michigan. But what will be really tuned into, I think, with this whole thunderstorm cluster, Lake Michigan diminishing some of the thunderstorms out of Wisconsin, but it'll be this cluster of showers and thunderstorms moving across Rochester, northern portions of Indiana, around South Bend, just leaving South Bend, heading towards Fort Wayne and 69. That'll have potential for more gusty winds, maybe even a hail threat with some of these thunderstorms as we start to get into the afternoon. We start to see some of the thunderstorms growing with height in this general vicinity. We can time it out for you here and watch that cluster of showers and thunderstorms race its way towards Cleveland as we head into the afternoon hours and across northern Ohio, then starts to push its way into western Pennsylvania, western New York, and Buffalo as we go into this evening. That'll be about it for that batch of showers and thunderstorms. Once the sun starts to set by 7 o'clock, those showers and thunderstorms will start to wane across portions of New York. The thunderstorm threat then starts to redevelop through our Wednesday and into Wednesday night and Thursday as a line of showers and thunderstorms take shape from Texas all the way up toward Missouri. This batch then returns potentials for thunderstorms not only from the plains, but right up into the Midwest and Ohio Valley again. So if you've got any family members, friends through the Passover time frame here this week, or trying to get yourselves maybe to where you're going for Easter, watch out for some of those hot spots with thunderstorms. Okay, coming up, a town outside Pensacola was heavily hit by a tornado over half a century ago. We're going to learn more about it in today's Weather History.
Over 60 years ago, a morning outbreak of tornadoes broke out in our own neck of the woods, creating the deadliest tornado in Florida history until it was surpassed in 1998. We're going back to 1962, where the western coast of the Panhandle felt some serious wind.
On March 30th and 31st of 1962, a strong storm system produced 11 tornadoes across the southeastern portions of the United States. The most impactful tornado from this event hit the town of Milton, Florida, a suburb of Pensacola, during the mid-morning hours of March 31st. The Milton tornado was over 400 yards wide and was on the ground for nearly 7 miles. This F3 tornado demolished 130 homes in a 6-block area of Milton and did extensive damage to a mobile home park in town. Debris produced from this tornado in Milton was found in parts of southern Alabama, nearly 60 miles away from where the storm hit. This tornado injured 100 people and unfortunately killed 17 people in the town of Milton, including 5 of 6 family members in one house. This tornado was the deadliest in Florida history until it was surpassed in 1998.
Now, this tornado, of course, was quite a while ago. Both of my grandparents, who are from Milton, were both 12 at the time, both born in 1950. Well, let's take a look at some of those facts once again. Like we mentioned just a moment ago, it was the deadliest tornado in Florida history at the time, and it brought 2 to 3 inch hail with this particular tornado, which is gigantic. Now, 800 were left homeless, 17 killed, and over 100 injured. Now, another fact about this particular tornado, future Mayor Byrd Malpolis was thrown in his car, and he got out and began to help. Now, he was thrown in his car, not just thrown, but against a gas truck. Once he came to, he got up, got out of his car, and began to help several children that were injured nearby. Most of those children survived, the ones that he helped as well. But to take a look at some of the sizes of hail like you just were referred to there, keep in mind that hail size between 2 to 3 inches is pretty large. That's between a hen egg all the way larger than a baseball size in terms of hail sizes. And so for that to accompany such a large and destructive tornado is quite concerning. But to head back to that weather graphic and to discuss some of those stats once again, keep in mind, this held that deadliest tornado record all the way from 1962 until 1998 for the state of Florida. Not only did it hold that record, but it also brought with it 3-inch hail, which, like I mentioned, is quite large, baseball size or larger there. Now, 800 folks were left homeless. Keep in mind how many structures that takes to unhome that many folks. 17 were killed, over 100 injured with this tornado. And back to the story of future Mayor Malpolis. As he was thrown against the gas truck, he got out and started to help. Not only did he help those children that were nearby, but he got out of his car, began to walk miles down the road, helping folks who were hurt. And that particular image on the top right of your screen was actually one of the areas he was near when he was thrown in his car, and he began to help as well. And so he got out and trudged through the debris. And keep in mind, he wasn't prepared for this to happen. He was actually the director of a radio station in town when this particular tornado occurred. And so he was on his way to work at the radio station, dressed in his normal apparel, when this tornado happened to form and come down the street. It threw his car quite a ways. It toppled it up, and as he said, it spun several times, slammed against the gas truck, and then he got out, went to help, and then he realized that the building he was looking at previously was no longer there, and that's when he decided to start helping as well. And of course, became future mayor of Milton, Florida. Milton, Florida, the interesting spot there, and home to a lot of my family as well. But quite the tornado, and held that record from 1962 to 1998. Not a record you like to hold as well, the deadliest tornado in state history, but it did from 1962 to 1998. Coming up, we'll look at some unique predictions for tomorrow's Artemis II launch you won't want to miss.
Well, we've certainly been feeling the spring effects as of late, but there's some places that are known for their spring blooms, and that's the cherry blossoms.
Yep, over the past weekend, thousands gathered at the Tidal Basin in Washington, D.C. to witness the eye-catching trees.
It's certainly spring here in Washington. Take a look at our very famous and very beautiful cherry blossom trees. They've just reached peak bloom. That's when nearly 70% of the blossoms on these trees are open. They're here a little earlier than predicted this year, but you can see thousands of them blooming all around us now. They typically attract over 1 million people to the nation's capital to catch a glimpse of them. We're not sure exactly how long they'll be around. They're very weather dependent, but they're very much worth the trip. At the Tidal Basin in Washington, I'm Stetson Miller.
You ever been up there during that time frame to see it?
Well, I don't know if I've been up there right when those trees are there, but I've been up to that area. It's a pretty area in general.
Yeah, when I was a little kid, I got to go see Washington, D.C. and all that kind of stuff, but never there to actually see the blossoms. I could just imagine, you know, like just how big and beautiful that must be.
I wonder how long they stick around.
Yeah, he said not very long. When they get going, then it's usually a limited window, just a couple of weeks, I think is usually what it is.
Well, the Artemis 2 launch is an even shorter window than that. It's just over 24 hours away, and we're looking forward to kicking back and watching this historic moment.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I can't wait to watch it. And today I wanted us to kind of make some predictions here. We wanted to make a little more fun. So we're going to do some odds. There's actually odds makers that have created some odds like this, for example. Trey, the first streamed song by the crew during the mission, is it going to be the Space Odyssey, Rocket Man, Dark Side of the Moon at plus 250, or Fly Me to the Moon at 450?
I'm going Dark Side of the Moon, Ryan, because, hear me out, they're going to the dark side of the moon for the first time ever.
They are, they really are. Fly Me to the Moon, I think. I'd take the odds, you know, on that one. That's not too bad. All right, how about this one here? Will any astronaut experience space sickness on camera? Yes, sitting at plus 300 and no at minus 500. What do you think?
I'm going no on that one.
Yeah, they're experienced, right? Yeah.
They shake them up in training.
Yeah, they put them through the ringer there. I think no is a pretty safe bet there. All right, how about this one? Total number of unplanned events logged in the mission status report. The over-under is set at 12.5.
I'm taking the over.
You think that many?
Yeah, I'm taking the over, yeah.
I don't think so. I'm going to go with the under there.
Oh, got to split.
All right, real quick, last one. When will the NASA land on the moon? The current lines are set at plus minus 500 after January 1st, 2028.
Over.
Over. I like that one, too. All right, folks. Thanks for joining us here this morning. We can't wait for that launch tomorrow.